This video is for people who want to maximize the benefits they get from their credit cards. I'm John Natividad and I upload videos on personal finance, self-development, and investing every Tuesdays. If these are topics that you are interested in, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified every time I release a new video. I applied for my first credit card. At the same time, I also applied to open my first online stock brokerage account when I got my first paycheck from my first job. Although in reality, I really had to wait 2 more months because the bank requires 3 months worth of payslip. Utilizing a credit card has its pros and cons. Some people like the convenience and rewards aspect of me, that's probably me, while others are worried that it can cause people to spend way more than their means, which could eventually lead to someone's financial ruin. We can talk about Credit Card 101 in another video, but for today, let's focus on assessing a credit card's rewards program. When comparing credit cards, I personally look at the percent value return on my purchase. This number can be computed by dividing the value of reward by the spend requirement needed to attain it. Let's have an example. My first ever credit card was a BPI Edge card with a reward structure of 1 point for every 50 pesos spent. Moreover, my very first credit card rewards claim was for a donut voucher valued at 500 pesos. Heading over to the bank's rewards website, this should set you back 6,700 points. This means that with an Edge card, you'd need to spend 335,000 pesos in order to be able to redeem a 500 peso donut voucher. From here, we can quickly calculate the value return. That's how I'm going to call it now, by the way. Dividing 500, which is the value of reward, by 335,000, the spend requirement gives us a whopping value return rate of 0.15%. You heard that right, not 15%, not even 1.5%, but 0.15%. Now, if I needed to spend 335,000 pesos anyways, getting a free box of donuts worth 500 pesos is definitely welcome, as opposed to getting nothing. But as far as credit card rewards program goes, this simply won't cut it. Other BPI credit cards like Gold, Blue, and eCredit are marginally better. With their 1 point for every 35 pesos spent, this means that we're only required to spend 234,500 as opposed to 335,000 if we want to claim a 500 peso donut voucher. This also brings up the value return rate to 0.21%. When it comes to BPI rewards, it is better to go for options from BPI itself, like shopping credits, which is basically credits to pay off your outstanding balances, or Ayala companies like Globe, which offer bill rebates rewards. We can see here that the shopping credits worth 500 pesos only need 5,000 points to be claimed. This brings down the spend requirement for Gold, Blue, and eCredit to 175,000 pesos and brings up the value return rate to 0.29%. I use the value return rate because it enables me to compare rewards programs against each other. It even allows me to compare against cashback and rebate credit cards, discounts, and promos. I understand that there are also auxiliary benefits that come with different credit cards like access to exclusive sales, installment options, points multipliers, travel insurance, lounge access, and the list goes on. But like most people, I'm a general spender, so this is what works best for me. With a measly value return rate of around 0.29%, the cards I mentioned don't really make a very compelling case as a general credit card. However, I still maintain my BPI cards because 1, it's NAFOL or tagged as no annual fee for life, and 2, it gives me access to exclusive promos like SIP or special installment plans, which allowed me to take out a 500,000 peso worth of credit card loan at 0% interest earlier this year. Sometimes BPI also rolls out promos which cardholders can take advantage of. Last year, I was able to maximize their Be Rewarded for Your Holiday Shopping promo, which gave out an e-coupon roughly valued at 75 pesos then for every 3,000 pesos spent. With this promo, you get an outright value return rate of 2.5% for exact straight purchases worth 3,000 pesos on top of the existing rewards scheme, since you still earn points from these qualified purchases. Last holiday season, I was able to get about 30 e-coupons, and this became my contribution for our family Noche Buena. Now, let's take a look at examples of cashback and rebate credit cards. Some of my favorites are the Union Bank Platinum and Gold card, which gives 1.5% rebate on everything. Already better than the 0.29% we just discussed. On the other hand, the Citi Mercury Drug card gives 1 peso for every 200 pesos spent anywhere. That's a value return rate of 0.5%. For beauty and wellness spend in spas, hospitals, gyms and salons, and clinics, this card gives 3 pesos for every 200 pesos spent, which translates to a value return rate of 1.5%. Finally, purchases at Mercury Drug gives back 5 pesos for every 200 pesos spent, and this translates to a value return rate of 2.5%. So this card might make sense for those who frequent salons, gyms, spas, and wellness clinics, or those who have family members taking maintenance medicines. The last cashback card I'd like to mention is the HSBC Gold Visa Cashback Credit Card, which gives 0.5 cashback for general spend and 5% for dining transactions. If you dine out frequently, this is a card you should definitely consider. Why I like airline miles credit cards? I mentioned in my I Got Scammed video that for the longest time, my primary credit card was the Citi Premier Miles card, and here I'd like to explain why. Calculating the value of your miles is a bit trickier since it varies depending on the type of airline and service class you opt for. The general rule is your miles' value increases as you go up the service level tier. It's literally different for every flight route and transaction, but generally I find that redeeming miles for low-cost carriers like Cebu Pacific yields a value return rate of around 1 to 2%. In contrast, redeeming miles from full-service carriers like Philippine Airlines give around 4 to 5%, while Singapore Airlines yield a value return rate of around 6 to 7%. 6 to 7% sounds great, right? It depends. See, usually you'll be able to access this value amount if you go for more expensive flights such as business or first class. Take note that in order to arrive at the 6 to 7% value for Singapore Airlines KrisFlyer program, I tested a round-trip first-class Manila to Sydney flight, which costs around 350,000 pesos. So this would mean that you would have to spend around 4.9 million pesos in order to pay for that flight entirely in KrisFlyer miles points. So if you are one of the rich and wealthy, this would make sense for you. But if you're a low to mid-cost flyer like me, who usually only flies using budget airlines, then we'll have to be more creative in order to maximize our miles rewards. How can we do this? By booking flights during seat sales and using earned miles as payment. So given that airlines easily give up to 70 to 80% discount for certain flight routes, value return rate can easily go up to 10 to 12% and even beyond if one is able to successfully book a flight during these seat sales. I'll share an extraordinary example. So looking at round-trip Cebu Pacific, Manila to Tokyo flights, base fares now, they're around 14,798. However, one time during a seat sale, I was able to book round-trip flights to Tokyo with a base fare of only 704 pesos. If you're able to successfully book this using points, you'll only need 375 get-go points, which translates to a mere 11,200 pesos spend requirement. This is a whopping 130% value return rate. Now, personally, I don't really use points during seat sales because I get so tense about it. And I feel like it would be easier just to book it using a credit card since nakasale naman na siya. But I know people who were able to do it. Also, I feel like the 4 to 5% value return rate I could get for a PAL flight is already decent enough, especially when you take into account that this is for general spend. I'd be keeping a close watch on airline miles rewards programs though because they're experiencing a lot of challenges right now, threatening their bottom lines. The pandemic grounded a lot of planes for the airline industry and increased non-performing loans for banks. Moreover, the BSP ordered to decrease the ceiling on interest or finance charges for credit card receivables to 2% per month. Before the September 2020 circular, most credit cards would have a 3.25 interest charge per month. In fact, Citibank has issued an advice on drastic changes to their rewards program, which will take effect this December 2020. I plan to briefly discuss this and share my thoughts on it in a bonus video I will upload this week, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel and click on the bell to be notified when I release that. Going back, aside from using the value return rate method, there are other factors to consider when comparing credit card rewards program. One thing to note is the cardholder's spending habit. Are you someone who frequents certain establishments like restaurants, drugstores, wellness centers, and even gas stations? If so, there are specialized credit cards that may work better for you. Quality of bank promotions are also something that you should consider. While I've heard that it's very hard to successfully apply for a BDO credit card, I find that they churn out very good deals and promotions. I think this is a testament to their scale as an industry giant. Businesses are really just flocking to them for partnerships. Personally, what I like about BDO promos is you can always be sure that they would have 50% off promo from different restaurants. That's a lot, that's 50%. That's like buy one, take one. So another thing to consider is the credit card issuer's willingness to waive annual fees. I've mentioned that I've never paid for an annual credit card fee. Why? Because by doing so, there's a very high chance that you're basically just paying for the reward that you are availing. Take Security Bank's Complete Cashback MasterCard, which gives a 5% rebate on groceries. However, this card has a 3,000 pesos annual fee that may not be waived. This means that I would first have to spend 60,000 pesos on groceries in order to cover the 3,000 peso annual fee. Thing is, 60,000 pesos is pretty much our mall grocery budget for an entire year. And with general shopping spend only giving 1% cashback, it doesn't really make sense for me to avail this card. The value return rate method is a more general way of assessing a credit card's rewards program, and it works best for general spenders. Personally, I'd like to have at least a 2.5% value return rate for my credit card spend. How about you? How do you assess your credit card's rewards programs? What credit cards are you using now? Please comment them down below. So at this point, I'd like to share other ways I maximize my credit card spending, and it is by using it in conjunction with other apps like Grab and Shopback. Instead of directly paying with my credit cards, what I do is I cash into my Grab and pay using my virtual GrabPay credit card instead. This way, I'm able to earn both credit card points and Grab points, and this is how I was able to maintain my Platinum Grab tier even during quarantine, and I'm able to get Grab food and ride discount vouchers from the Grab points I earned using this method. By the way, SM Save More groceries are only able to accept GrabPay at Prestige lanes. So this means that by simply asking to pay with GrabPay, you are able to access the faster lane even though you are not necessarily a Prestige member. So that's another advantage of using GrabPay. Another thing I do whenever I shop is to make sure to use rewards programs like Shopback to get cashback on top of earning points from my credit card. I've been using Shopback for the longest time, and I'll share links on how you can sign up for them below in the description. What's cool about this is that you can even use them all together. So here's one thing that I do. So I load up my GrabPay account and then use either Shopee's or Lazada's bills payment facility and then check out with Shopback. Using this method, I get to earn credit card points, Grab points, cashback, and depending on the online shopping platform's promotion at the time, I also get discounts on bills payments, Shopee coins, or online shopping vouchers. This can easily seem overwhelming and over the top, and honestly, it's a bit tedious, so it's not really for everyone, but I think the more you know, right? So if you're someone who is looking to maximize the value they get from their credit card spending, this is definitely something you can consider. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to click on the like button. Also, comment down below what topics you'd like me to cover next. Thank you very much. It helps me out a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you are updated whenever I release a new video. Alright, that's it for now. Bye! So in contrast, redeeming miles from full